Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Reese's Random Reviews. I am Reese, I'm about to give you a random review and welcome to another episode of Stephen King Month. The Mist is the next film that I'm going to be reviewing, which is a movie that I've seen based off another Stephen King adaptation and is starring Toby Jones, the woman from Flubber, and also the actress who was in Clash of the Titans. Those are the only actors I actually know in this movie. There's a lot of actors and actresses in this film who I've never really seen before in movies, TV shows. These were actors who I've barely seen. This adaptation, I must say, is one of the most unique ones I've probably ever seen, because I've only seen a few of Stephen King adaptations, but this one was definitely one of my personal favourites. The Mist is a very unique film done in a very original way. And I will definitely get into detail about this. Now, just so you know, guys, I need to tell you this. I am going to do spoilers for this review. So, what I recommend is that if you haven't seen The Mist, I really strongly recommend you do not watch this video, because the thing about The Mist is it has one of the most shocking endings in terms of movies. Like, there's so many films that do have endings that you don't want to give away, like Seven or Sleepaway Camp, or The Usual Suspects. You know, there's a lot of great movies that have great twists, and this one has one of the most shocking endings of all. So I really recommend that you do not watch this video if you don't want to spoil it for yourself, because seriously, you won't probably want to watch the movie after I talk about it. So I recommend you experience it for yourself and then come back and watch this video. If you have seen The Mist, please keep watching. But I have to talk about this in detail, because this movie left such an impact on me that I have to talk about it. So let's get down to it. So The Mist was released in 2007, and as I said, it stars a lot of actors who I've never really seen. There is also an older actor in this film who was also in The Green Mile, as this movie was directed by the same director of The Green Mile and Shawshank Redemption. But this is a much more different sort of movie that he's made. But the good thing about his directing is that he can make a really powerful, emotional film. Shawshank Redemption was emotional, and so was Green Mile, and so is The Mist. There's also the old lady from Misery in this movie who played the sheriff's wife. She's in this film, and she actually is also, again, the comic relief of this movie. I'm just talking about the actors for some reason. I need to talk about the movie. Anyway, in the movie, the characters are trapped in a supermarket, and this mist that is apparently in a different, what's the word? Different, is it vortex, I think? Or different, land or different world is basically come out into Earth, our planet, and has spread it all over the American town. And in the supermarket, the characters are trapped, but they can't go outside in the mist, because in that mist there are these horrible creatures in there. And when I say horrible, I mean there are giant spiders in this movie. There's also giant scorpion bugs. They have like scorpion stingers, but they fly. They basically do sting you. There's also these like giant pterodactyl-like birds, but they have like these really odd sharp beaks, and they have like 4 wings. One of them is to move, and the other one is to fly. And they also eat the scorpion-like bugs. There's a really great scene where all the bugs are on the window and they're attracted by the light, and then all of a sudden the pterodactyl birds come down and start breaking in through the store and the window, and they're trying to kill the humans, and they're trying to fight them off, and it's just such an epic scene. It's one of my favourite moments in the movie. And there's also giant mantis-like things that you see in The Mist. There's also a ginormous monster with like these tentacles that come out of it and everything. It's just, there's some very, very odd creatures in this. And if Stephen King did write this in his book about descriptions, I don't know if the director might have changed a few things about it. Stephen King has got a very, very crazy imagination to think about that. The Mist as well, even though I said that this is a monster movie, this is why it's very unique, by the way. I need to talk about this, because the film does talk about who are the real monsters. Because the monsters, when I say monsters, I mean creatures. I shouldn't say monsters, because monsters don't really exist, do they? These animals are typically animals. There's bugs, pterodactyls, giant creatures with tentacles. you know, they aren't really monsters, they're animals. They're just trying to survive. They don't know where they are. They've just come out in this mist and they're walking around and they just don't know where they are. And really, what the movie's message is trying to say is that in terms of being stuck in a terrible situation, like, we are pushed to the limit of being so selfish that we would literally just do anything to survive. And if that means killing other people, sacrificing others, literally being selfish and just pushing them out into the mist and getting them killed, and you, if only you survive, then that's what they do. And it's basically saying that really human beings are the monsters. You know, the monsters in the mist aren't the monsters. We're the monsters. We're the ones who aren't, you know, we just don't think. We just tend to just do it. And in terms of panicking, we don't tend to think about the cause of actions. And this is what that movie is actually trying to portray. It mostly focuses on the humans. The monster attacks, or creature attacks, shall I say, actually come very rarely. Like, they come within probably 15 minutes of each other, or maybe even 20 minutes, because you have the tentacle scene under the garage, which happens, and then about 15 or 20 minutes later we get the bugs and the pterodactyls, and another 20 minutes goes by and we get the spiders, and so on and so forth. So, you know, the attacks aren't like, for example, Jurassic Park, where they come like every moment and it just happens. You know, these attacks happen on a very official gap and very good pacing, and you're mostly watching these humans suffer trapped in this supermarket. Now let's talk about the ending, guys, and this is what I want to talk about. So I really strongly recommend you don't see this part, but the ending has got to be one of the most shocking endings I've ever seen in a movie, and I mean mostly. Now, my girlfriend never told me about this movie. She told me to watch this film. She said watch it, but she never told me what it was about. And even when I was about to read it on my phone, because I always like to read about films on my phone, not spoilers, just about the plot, she grabbed the phone off my hand. She went, "You're not reading about it, just watch it." So I did. So I sat there and watched it, and oh my god, that ending. And what happens in the ending, it was so different from the Stephen King original novel, apparently. The director went up to Stephen King and said, "I want to change your ending in the book," which is basically this. And Stephen King read it, and he loved it, and he said, "This is going to be perfect." Now, I'm going to tell you the ending of the book as well, because this is what I found out. In the book, the characters, the dad, the son, a woman who the dad was attracted to, and an old couple, manage to get out the supermarket in a car. And when they do, they just drive out into the mist trying to look for help. And we never know what happens in the end. It just leaves an open ending. He drives off into the mist, and that's all that we hear. We don't know what happens after that. And yet, in the movie, this is how they changed it. The car stops. It runs out of gas, and they don't know what to do. So they're sat there, and they realise that there's going to be no help. They've got nothing else to do. So the dad decides that the best thing to do is to end it all. So he gets a gun and he shoots everyone in the car, including his own son, who he's been trying to save throughout the whole film. He kills his own son. And he runs out of bullets, and he's got no bullets in the gun, and he tries to shoot himself, but then he can't do it. So then he hears something coming towards the car. So he gets out the car, and he literally screams out for this new creature to, just come and get him. He's preparing to die. But what happens next is just completely unexpected. Instead of a creature coming out of the mist, it was soldiers in a tank rescuing people. Yes. So the tank goes out the mist, and the man, the daddy's standing there, and he realizes that they were getting away from help the whole time. The whole time. Killed his son in vain. And that's how the movie ends. We don't know what happens to the dad. We don't know what happens to any of the other characters. All we know is that he's literally now officially on his own. His wife has died. His son is dead. He's got no friends. He's literally on his own. And that's how the movie ends. And I was so shocked that my jaw literally hung for like 20 minutes. And when my girlfriend came in the room, she said, what did you think of the film? I was just like, like, seriously, there was no words coming out of my mouth. I was just completely shocked by that ending, and I'm sure everyone else has been if you've seen The Mist. But yeah, it's the most shocking ending ever. And because of it, this movie is honestly the most impactful yet amazing film I've ever watched. The message in the movie is fantastic. You know, Frank has done a fantastic job directing this film. He's done a beautiful job. And I'm so glad that I finally got to discover this movie and I got the chance to review it, as I'm doing Stephen King adaptations that I've seen. And I'm so happy to talk about it. And now it's time to rate the movie. I'm going to give The Mist out of 10, to be honest, what it really deserves, because I think it's pretty underrated. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Okay guys, there you go. So I've now talked about The Mist. I hope that you have seen the film, by the way. If you comment below and say that I've spoiled it for you and I told you that I didn't warn you, because I did, then what the fuck is your problem? Seriously. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching my videos. You guys are the best as always, and please keep subscribing me, and please let me know what videos you're enjoying and what you want to talk about. You know, comment and tell me. And the next Stephen King adaptation I'm going to review is Secret Window. That's the next film I'm going to be doing. It's another underrated film. I can't wait to review that one. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching my videos. You guys are the best. More film projects and reviews are coming. And I'm looking forward to carrying on with my Stephen King month. I've still got loads more to talk about. And I am Reese, and I have just given you another Stephen King month random review.